Every few years, basketball fans get hit with the same kind of question. Is this the next superstar? Is this the next franchise-changing player? Is this the next face of the league? And right now, that conversation is centered on one name, AJ Dybantsa. At just 18 years old, Dybantsa is already being talked about as the projected #1 pick in the 2026 NBA draft. Not because of hype alone, but because of what he actually looks like on a basketball court. A 6'9" wing with elite athleticism, serious scoring ability, and the kind of upside NBA teams spend years trying to find. But here's the real question. Is AJ Dybantsa actually going to become that level of player, or is the expectations game already getting ahead of reality? Let's break it down. First, the basics. AJ Dybantsa is listed around 6'9", roughly 200-210 pounds, with a wingspan reported to be around 7 feet. And physically, he already looks like an NBA wing. Long frame, smooth movement, easy athleticism. But what makes him special isn't how he looks in warm-ups. It's how he plays when the game speeds up. He doesn't move like a typical 6'9" player. He handles the ball like a guard in transition. He changes direction without losing balance, and he attacks defenders with confidence you usually only see from proven NBA scorers. That combination is exactly why scouts are so high on him. Now his rise. Dybantsa first started turning heads as one of the top players in his class national, dominating high-level high school competition and quickly rising to the top of recruiting rankings. From there, his path took a different turn than most top prospects. He made the major decision to commit to BYU, choosing a program where he could develop his game in a more structured professional style environment rather than just chasing traditional blue blood programs. That choice immediately made him one of the most talked about young players in basketball because it signaled something important. He wasn't just chasing exposure, he was chasing development, and that matters a lot when projecting long-term success. Now let's talk about his game. Offensively, Dybantsa is already dangerous in multiple ways. He can score in transition, where his speed and size create instant mismatches. He can attack closeouts and get to the rim with long strides and explosive finishes. And he already shows real ability to create his own shot of the dribble. That last part what separates good prospects from great ones. Because in the NBA, the hardest skill isn't scoring when you're open. It's scoring when everyone knows you're the option. Dybantsa has real flashes of being able to do that. He's comfortable pulling up in the mid-range, he can get downhill through contact, and he doesn't shy away from tough shots in big moments. His outside shooting is still developing, and that will be one of the biggest swing skills in his career. But the foundation as a scorer is clearly there. He also brings something that the NBA teams value more than ever: versatility. At his size, he can operate in multiple roles. He can bring the ball in transition, and he can play off the ball and attack cuts. He can handle smaller defenders in isolation, and he can create advantages simply by getting into the paint and forcing help defense to react. That type of multi-role offensive ability is exactly what modern NBA systems are built around. Defensively, the tools are even more interesting. With his length and athletic ability, Dybantsa has the potential to guard multiple positions. He can switch onto guards, he can recover quickly when beaten off the dribble, and he has the size to contest shots from wings and bigger players. He's not a finished product defensively yet, like most young prospects, but the physical tools are absolutely there for him to become a strong two-way wing at the next level. And in today's NBA, that might be the most valuable type of player you can have. So why are scouts so excited? It comes down to upside. When NBA front offices evaluate prospects, they're not just asking how good is this player right now. They're asking how good can he become if anything clicks. And with Dybantsa, the answer is very interesting. Because you're looking at a player who already has NBA level size, NBA level athleticism, and advanced scoring instincts at a young age. That combination is rare, really rare. Of course, there are questions, every top prospect has them. His shooting consistency still needs development. His decision making can improve, especially when defense load up on him. And like many young stars, learning when to force offensive versus when to move the ball will be a big part of his growth. There will also be an adjustment to the NBA pace, physicality, and defensive pressure. Nothing about that transition is easy, even for future stars. But that's exactly why he's so fascinating. Because the upside is enormous. If everything develops the way scouts hope, we're looking at a 6'9" shot creating wing who can score at all 3 levels, defend multiple positions, and carry an offense. That's not just an all-star profile, that's a franchise cornerstone profile, maybe even an MVP level outcome. Looking ahead to the 2026 NBA draft is already shaping up to revolve around him, alongside other top prospects like Cameron Boozer and Darren Peterson, but Dybantsa is the name at the center of the conversation, and whichever team lands him will likely be betting on potential more than anything else, because that's what drafting at the top is really about. Not what a player is, but what he could become. So the final question is simple. Is AJ Dybantsa the next true superstar in basketball, or is the pressure of being the #1 pick going to be too much too soon? Let me know what you think in the comments, and if you enjoyed the video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.